I requested and he agreed to coordinate. So he is coordinator for this program, and this will be, I think, this will be a good webinar as we have done so much in past. This is we are going to complete 25 years of the Society for Empowerment. So we will be also having sometime in December another program that to celebrate the completion of 25 years of the society. And then we, as you know, that we also publish a magazine or a journal that is called the Prarambh, and that's also we are doing it regularly for since our inception. And now the other thing that we are trying to do is to provide or to inform our senior members who has retired and the employment opportunity after 60. That is another popular program of ours, and with that we have all kind of experience how the senior peoples are joining new jobs and what are their problems, how they feel, then how the institution contact us and how we solve that. So that is another uh, program that we are doing that is going continuously for last 25 years. And we are also known for that in now in the different ministries. They themselves, the ministries, also contact us to provide them some suitable senior citizen for several opportunities. That we also do. We coordinate with the government and with the senior citizen. So that is another important thing that we are doing. Then we are also doing some research work, action research as well as applied research. Then we are doing some project work. The Society for Empowerment is also advising on several issues. The state of Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Bihar, and like other states, whichever contacts us. We are primarily known for policy making and action research. So that we are doing whenever required, whenever the different state government approaches us for that. So far, we have not gone for any independent research in this field uh, because this field requires a lot of fund. Unless we get some fund and government assistance, it's become very difficult to work for any state, particularly for their planning and policy. So today's program uh, is designed by Professor Anil Prasadji. He is our one of the oldest member of the Society for Empowerment. So I thought that now some of our old members or the members, even new members, should be given responsibility of organizing this kind of scientific webinars. And particularly, I am very much thankful to the participants, the experts of this program. Though I am in Patna for so many years, but could not get chance to meet all of you. So that is one thing we would like to have you in our office or have some interaction on common issues or some research issues of action research and policy research or for any other things which you think that we may be of some helpful. So today's program is on uh, embracing climate smart future, paving this way for sustainable tomorrow. So that is a sustainable tomorrow is more important because the environment and the pollution, these are a big question for all upcoming big cities or the existing big cities. They are, especially in this winter season, it becomes very difficult to get oxygen in such cities. So for that, we are also working, and this webinar is a result of that. So I think that the we will be able to give a new dimension or something new in this aspect. Then we are equally thankful to the media people who very uh, each time they support us, they whether it is print media or the electronic media, both of them they support us, and they cover our programs not only in the country but also internationally. So this is in brief. This is about the program, and the brief of the program will be delivered by Professor Anil Prasad ji. So I am requesting Professor Anil Prasad ji to continue and conduct the webinar uh, as he wished. Thank you very much to all.
Thank you, sir, for your introduction to the Society for Empowerment, and good evening to all. On behalf of Society for Empowerment, I warmly welcome uh, Sri Rakesh Narayan and Miss Deopriya Datta and Captain Nikita Sahai uh, to this roundtable discussion. And the theme that concerns not only policymakers or scientists, but every citizen of this planet. The theme is embracing a climate smart future, paving the way for a sustainable tomorrow. Today, we stand at a very important moment in history. Climate change is no longer a distant warning, it is a lived reality. Rising temperatures, erratic monsoons, heat waves, declining biodiversity, and increased vulnerabilities are reshaping our everyday lives. A smart approach is therefore not merely an environmental preference, it is a developmental necessity. This discussion seeks to explore how agriculture, cities, technology, energy systems, and community actions can converge to create a sustainable and resilient future. Our panelists today bring deep expertise and diverse perspectives, and I am confident that their insights will help us to rethink our strategies and responsibilities. Before we begin, let me share the structure of our session. Each panelist will speak for 10-15 minutes, followed by uh, comment. Comment will come at the end. And at this stage, now let me introduce our distinguished speakers. The first speaker is, I think he has some problem, Mr. Narayan, uh, Mr. R.C. Narayan. He is a retired general manager of Punjab National Bank. But as I have known him, he is a constant traveler, a bird watcher, and a person who lives on the bank of the Hindon River. He has been writing regularly about the rich biodiversity of the area, and I think he is a practical philosopher in this regard. I move on to Miss Deopriya Datta. Uh, she is the youth coordinator of Tarumitra. She is an MA in sociology and youth representative of Tarumitra, as I said, and issues concerning biodiversity, she has traveled to New York, United Nations, Thailand, Rome, Kenya, and Southeast Asia. And she has been working very hard to spread awareness regarding the issues which are disturbing us today. So I welcome you to the roundtable conference. Then we have Captain Nikita Sahai. She is a retired army officer from Short Service Commission. She's a journalist. She has been in the on the Republic TV and other important channels. She is at present working at Bihar Museum as media consultant, and she has been a very good storyteller. You can watch her on Instagram, and she is very much interested in climate, biodiversity, and all important issues which are plaguing us today. So, all of you are welcome to this roundtable conference. Since uh, Mr. Narayan is not, I think, he is not visible, and I request Miss Devi Priya Datta to start uh, her deliberations. Miss Datta.
Good evening, cousins. Yes, good evening, cousins. We have a common home, we have a common mother, we have the common life source. She is Mother Earth. We all are related to each other. And when it comes to Mother Earth, it's also about Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam. The same pranvayu gives us life, oxygen, the same water nourishes us, and the same food gives us life. And Mother Earth does not distinguish on the basis of differences or nationalities or castes or any other barriers. So in that regard, we are cousins. That's why I addressed all of you as cousins. So first of all, thank you for inviting me to be a part of this webinar, which would be, I'm sure, an enriching experience for me and a commendable effort in one way that for the first time ever, I heard the term climate smart future. Yeah, talking about climate change, global warming, these are some of the prevalent issues that the whole world is talking about right now. But coming out of all the negativity and coming up with a very positive term, which sounds like a lot of hope against hope in this situation right now, that a climate smart future, embracing the climate smart future, and which also is paved towards the way for sustainable development. I will just share my experience as a Mitra, as a Taru Mitra, because I'm working with the students. If I look at the students, look at the future, look at the youth, then I see hope, climate smart. If I do any kind of prediction, how my tomorrow is going to be, right? Because if I'm concerned about tomorrow, then it also means that I am concerned about today as well. I look up to the students not only as the future, I look up to them as the present as well. They have innovative ideas. They just need a little bit of push, gentle push, some encouragement, right direction. They will be coming of the, what to say, out of their shells. They will not be very much, you can say, attached with their this remote control these days. These mobile phones, artificial intelligence, everything has like burdened the youth with a lot of pressure that they have to perform. But a climate smart future, if you ask them, because I have been dealing with the students, and especially this morning and last day, yesterday, I was in Buxar, and one of the students over there in the school told me that we have devised a new plastic based starch, and that is very much edible. You can wrap it around a chocolate, you can wrap it around a sweet, and you can gift it to anybody. So I was amazed. And that's why when I talk about climate smart future, one prominent this idea that happened yesterday came to my mind, that when these kids are there, when our future generation is there, they have the responsibility. First of all, individual responsibility and collective responsibility. Not on the politicians, not on the bureaucrats, but if we depend on these individuals, no, then I mean, a lot of things are possible. Possible in the sense that they would not be only just remain in the book or in the syllabus, but practical ways of doing it. Okay. I mean, for example, I want to just quote over here, talking about this climate smart future, that how my upcoming 2026 is going to be. You just need to give a little bit of push to the students in a different way, that for example, 2026 is coming, what resolution you are going to keep, what is your prediction, and how do you want to be remembered as a role model. Suppose if you are studying in class 10, then definitely those who are below you, for them you are the role model, for them you are the icons. Climate smart future does not mean that anything that you have to do on to show everybody, yes, I'm doing some plantation. No, but students should be guided in such a way, and they are coming up with ideas that if I want a green future and which can sustain for a long time, keeping in mind all the sustainable development goals, the 17 SDGs that has been laid down by the United Nations, the biggest family in the entire planet, that how you would be like, how you would like to be remembered by your juniors, right from the festivals. India is, you can say, a country which celebrates all the time. We just need some reasons to celebrate. How it can be more, not only eco-friendly, environment friendly, how it can how it can be pocket friendly also. Like switching off lights or turning off the tap is equivalent to generation of resources, which is equivalent to, you can say, saving resources, and that means n number of plantation, going for, you can say, organic products, doing the rainwater harvesting, which I am seeing in many of the schools and colleges of Patna. They're adopting that, be it the CBSC, ICSC, or the college curriculum. They are like encouraging more and more of students to come up with startups also. Because at this moment right now, winter internship is going on in Tarumitra, and I'm seeing the college students of Patna, of Bihar, means they are coming up with, like, you can say, insane and abnormal ideas. Whatever they are doing, they are thinking about startups, because if I'm talking about a smart future, that also means money, right? So there are various ways that you are studying also side by side, and also side by side you are like having you're doing your own livelihood, you are getting a good experience as well. Okay, in some of the places, like where you, if you are doing internship also, so you are being paid if you are coming up with some brilliant idea or a small project or startup like that. So what our future or students, what they need is that little bit of incentive, little bit of boosters. For example, if I'm doing anything, any program for them, I'm taking my Tarumitra as an example, so maybe I can award them some certificates, some cash prizes, some scholarships, some incentives. They need the boost up that I mentioned during the starting of my address to you all, that it has to be a give and take relationship in a different way. Nobody will be doing anything free for you in today's date. Take the example of a plant. Until and unless you give out carbon dioxide, it is not going to like convert it to you and give it back to you as an oxygen. And these students, these school and college students, I mean, they are our asset. Okay, they are only, I mean, going to be your, you can say, fixed asset if I'm talking about having a very secured future, where sustainability would be my high point. But again, here, before I end my address over here, along with sustainability, they need to be given one more thing, and that I can ask all the senior people or the gurus or the teachers, parents as well, the senior citizens of the society, instill in them little bit of sensitivity that is missing in today's youth. Not only just today's youth, people around. Yes. So eco sensitivity is also the need of the hour. If we want a climate smart future, little bit of sensitiveness, because if I'm talking about Mother Earth, it should be with emotions. It should be with feeling. It has to be from within. So whatever I have said in my past 10 to 15 minutes, it is with full of hope, a, a vision. Okay, and students being the, you can say, the torch bearers, the youth being the torch bearers. And when one thing, one goal would be achieved, if I'm talking about the 17 SDGs, it is just like a cobweb. It is just like a web of life. All are interlinked with one another. Then definitely a lot of problems can be sorted out, and our problems would be minimized, and maybe the vision would be more clearer. Then we can predict that how smart my climate is going to be, my future is going to be, and what I'm keeping for my next generation, the coming generation. So this is what I want to say. I don't have much to say, because still I am in the process, in my mindset, you can say so, of having a distant dream that yes, maybe I should live in a world in which extinction should not be my concern. Extinction of any species. And yes, Tarumitra is working towards biodiversity. That's why I didn't speak much of any other issues, because if we are doing conservation of biodiversity, that will take all the other things, all the pancha tattva in that. We all are made up of 5 elements. हम लोग पंच तत्व से मरे बने हैं, एंड मरने के बाद भी हम लोग पंच तत्व में ही विलीन हो जाते हैं. So this sensitivity has to be instilled in the youth, and I'm seeing that it's already in process. Okay, that I am a part of Mother Earth. Okay, I am in her womb, I am in her fetus. What guru dakshina I am giving to my mother, what guru dakshina I'm giving to my mother, if that thought consciousness is inside within, then definitely our future is going to be smart. So thank you for the patient hearing. Thank you once again.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And very practical suggestions and very practical, because uh, mm, um, my wife and I have been regularly visiting Tarumitra, and we have seen how the work of awareness and conservation is being done there, and what you say is in chime with what is said in Atharvaved, Mata Bhumi Putruham Prithibhya. Earth is my mother and I am her child. And we have seen how enthusiastically children come there, and they are made aware of certain things which can make our planet livable. So thank you very much. And when Professor Narayan requested me to do it, I wanted young people to join and talk about uh, their practical experiences. Uh, Mr. Rakesh Narayan is also very young. We studied together, and as I said, he is a constant. He has been a constant traveler, and he lives on the bank of Hindon River, that is 150th sector of Noida, and that is the largest tributary of Jamuna. And he has been posting many articles on biodiversity. Now I request Sri Rakesh Narayan to speak about this topic. Sir, uh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Very many thanks for giving me an opportunity to speak on this topic. Uh, if you look at our situation today, we are at a crossroad of history, and it's high time we reflected on the journey that we have taken from the dawn of civilization to the present day. In fact, since time immemorial, our action have reshaped the planet, and uh, I'll be very frank on this, and it is all mentioned in many books. Even uh, uh, Yuval Harari talks about it. Our history has been very cruel. Wherever we went, we left a footprint that is very difficult to erase. Our journey has been marked by deforestation, extinction, and exploitation. Even when we went for domestication of animal, a lot of cruelty was involved there. It is also very clear that
It seems there is some problem in the line. it's coming. It's coming now.
What of regions we should be concerned about this climate smart future and sustainable development? Because the population has grown, uh, substantially, and never before on this planet industrialization has taken place to this stage in which fossil fuels were used, and uh, and there is a global connectivity also. Uh, in fact, this term itself, sustainable development, was coined in 1987 before the Rio Earth Summit. So now we are more concerned about the future of our planet. Now, COPs have been taking place every year, and a lot of discussions take place on this. But we find that every year the temperature of the globe goes up. Now, there's a requirement of low carbon, and in all these crops, there have been no agreement. Who will pay? I mean, it is never decided in this. And you know that US withdrew from this Paris Convention. So, uh, so we are not in a position to achieve what we need to. um, keep the rise in temperature below 1.5 degrees. For this, almost there should be zero use of fossil fuel by 2040. Is it possible? It is not possible. Historically, industrialization has been marked by use of fossil fuels, and uh, this has been the fastest way to grow. Low income country see it as the fastest method to grow, and here comes the point of uh, environmental justice. I mean, the countries which have already developed, and they have used fossil fuels, they should pay for uh, growth that is sustainable. That has not been happening. So, what is the way out? Well, there are a lot of hopes from China, India, and Brazil, and they could introduce innovative technology for sustainable growth. Secondly, and digital infrastructure, India is at the top. There is no other country in the world which is close to India in digital infrastructure. It could provide a platform for trading of energy where the surplus country having surplus energy could sell it out to uh, countries that need it. Uh, then there is urgent need for awareness. And Professor Chetan Singh Solanki, he was in IIT Mumbai and he has left the job. For the last 12 years, he has been traveling from place to place in a van, and he is trying to impress upon the people of the requirement of this sustainable development. In fact, every meal, every purchase, every gadget contribute to carbon emission. That results in greenhouse effect that traps temperature and results in global warming. So, in this way, everyone contributes to global warming. Therefore, every individual should be part of the solution. So, how it could be done? This can be done by less consumption, eco-friendly products, and energy conservation. You see how we suppose someone is having a Wagoner car and someone is having SUV. This Wagoner will emit less carbon, so it is better for environment. But for society, SUV is a symbol status. So society looks at it from this way, which in fact damages our ecological balance. So this awareness is required. Only then there will be some positive aspect. Otherwise, we can go on with COPs every year. Its impact will not be felt. And once the global temperature rises 1.5 degrees Celsius, it will be irreversible. Then nothing can be done. So it is the duty of every one of us to emit less carbon by less consumption. That is the only solution. Plus, providing cheap technology by India, China, Brazil will also contribute to this. I think this is the only solution by which we can have this sustainable tomorrow and a smart future. I think I have broadly covered the point that I wanted to cover. So, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Narayan, to accept the invitation and so lucidly uh, throwing light on the problem. And you are right when you are talking about awareness raising and also about the responsibility of each and every individual to mitigate this problem. I'll come to this towards the end. And before that, I would like to invite Captain Nikita to uh, deliver her deliberations on this topic.
Mute myself.
Yes,
Oh, sir, it's my privilege to be part of this conversation when such senior and esteemed speakers like you are talking about climate change. And if I specifically mention the topic, embracing a climate smart future, paving a sustainable way for tomorrow. Now, there are two parts to it as I look at this topic. First is embracing a climate smart future. Now, I would like to go a little bit in the background of climate change and green energy and sustainable environment that we so popularly speak of nowadays. I had also discussed it with with Professor Anil Prasad before, that what I really feel about it. Being a younger person, what are my views on how we are treating this very sensitive topic? If we divide the global south and the global north, and other aspects will be also part of it. I feel that global warming, this term was the first warning word we heard of and realized that the things are not the same with Mother Earth. She's having mood swings, things are happening to the climate which are beyond our comprehension. And then the second most popular topic in this segment was when we heard of the hole in ozone layer. Now, these were the two things, that the earth is warming up, earth is unwell, and there is a hole in the ozone layer. These were the first things which we people from the third world, as a lot of people from the first world would still like to brand us, we heard of climate change in these terms. Now, also the melting of the glaciers on the North Pole, that was also another very common thing we heard of associated with the climate change. Now, this was the initial introduction of global warming to all of us, as far as I remember. Now, starting with the intellectual discussions on the issue of global warming, discussing how Mother Earth is in fever with all the temperature rise and it having the temperature having raised by 1 or 2 degrees. Now the discussion has converted into a vernacular movement by a Gen Z influencer, climate influencer, Greta Thunberg. We must talk about Greta Thunberg because that was a time in 2019 when we all heard
yes,
it loud and clear when she spoke about climate change and actually questioned all of us, saying, "How dare you?" That 16-year-old girl in 2019 questioned the rest of the world, the adult world. How dare you? How dare you do this to the climate? How dare you not leave a better future for all of us, for the younger people who are going to follow after all of you? That was a time I personally, being an indifferent millennial, that was the first time I took notice of what is happening about this climate change thing. What is this climate change thing? Why is this skinny, tiny 16-year-old girl screaming about climate change and that we are not taking care of it? But gradually, she definitely became the mascot of this climate change movement for the younger generation, and things became more political. As Rakesh sir also spoke about the COP meetings, yes, I also want to talk about it. A lot of COP meetings happened, and Paris Agreement was agreed upon. India was the only country which supposedly was the most well behaved in terms of following the Paris Agreement 2021 in COP 2021. All that happened, but what happens when the West ignores all of this? I'll come to that also. But in 2021, the Paris Agreement, as I was talking about it, it was adopted in COP 2021, or the Climate Change Conference, on December 12th, 2015. This became a stronger force, and mostly a lot of work and labor oriented countries like India and France started showing their allegiance to the Paris Agreement. We listened. We always listen to the West. That's how we've been trained over many centuries and years. But what was happening in countries like the USA? What was happening in America? What was happening in California? Now, that is what I really want to talk about. While green activists were spilling oil on all these big paintings in European countries, ban oil, say no to oil, going and destroying legacy of artists that today a lot of people cannot even think of creating in the name of climate change. The CEO of Starbucks, I would like to take his name, the CEO of Starbucks was actually taking a charter plane from his office in California to his office in another city, which was some 1600 kilometers. Daily, he was flying by that charter to commute to his office, Starbucks, when he got posted. And this guy was CEO Brian. Yeah, but Brian something. He was every day taking daily. He was commuting by this jet plane from his home in California to the company's headquarters in Seattle. So, what happens then? What happens to this conversation of climate change, a sustainable future, climate smart future, if big countries like America will not pay any heed to it? Now, this made big news. This Starbucks CEO's whatever theatrics he was doing, and maybe he will call it a necessity. He calls it a necessity. Like in India, we call it a necessity to switch off the light when we leave the room. It's a necessity for the USA guy to take his charter to work every day, causing so much pollution. So this definitely made headlines in 2024. And instance, it became a huge. A lot of people were very angry. And then this professor from IIT came and he said that I saw my socks. मैं तो अपने मोजे सिल के पहनता हूँ फट नो एक्चुअली वो फटा हुआ मोजा पहन के बैठा था दिखाने के लिए कि हाउ ही इज how much he is loyal to this concept of sustainable future, and how much as a member of third world country and an IIT, and he's really sticking to it. Whereas a man from USA is taking a charter daily, and here an Indian man from IIT is sitting with torn socks, saying that how much he really believes in this whole concept. And so I see the dichotomy, I see the difference and the contrast, and somewhere it shocks me that okay, is it only our responsibility? Shouldn't it be a collective responsibility? I'm here to ask questions today, questions which really keep me awake at night sometimes. Now, it seems that Greta Thunberg's snub was taken very well by the third world countries and countries like India and everybody around us. But the USA doesn't care about it. The Americans don't care about it. In Europe, all these youngsters will go and throw oil on the paintings and everything. That's the maximum they are doing. While in India, we are switching off the fans, we are switching off the light, we are not throwing food, we are not wasting food, and everything good and responsible that we can do for this, we are doing that thing. But then we all need to participate together, only then it will be a success. This is what I feel. Now, coming to embracing a climate smart future and how we can pave way for a sustainable way for tomorrow. And while we are discussing all of this with all of you, my fellow esteemed speakers, the fact is that seasons have moved. Winters have still not arrived. We are still switching on fans. Rains, the months of rains have shortened. And there is silent agreement between Mother Nature and everything that's happening on her earth. But we are kind of clueless and left out of it because we are not together in this, while nature is still together in it. It's moving at its own pace, at a new pace. Now, what do we mean by climate smart future, and how can we embrace it? I did read a little bit about it. I'm very sorry, but whatever my office timings could allow. Now, embracing a climate smart future means integrating innovative strategies and technologies across all sectors of society to build resilience, reduce the greenhouse emissions, secure a sustainable way for tomorrow, as we all have been talking about. Now, this approach is not merely about adapting to climate change, but also proactively designing a future where ecological health and economic prosperity are mutually reinforcing. And it has to be fair and equally divided. In fact, the bigger countries in a family, also, the bigger siblings always take bigger responsibilities. But in this aspect also, the bigger and the richer countries should also raise their hands to take the responsibilities. Now, key aspects for waving a sustainable way forward. Okay, I've issued the problem, I've spoken about the hypocrisy, I also spoke that what a climate smart future will need. We need to integrate new technology with the old way of sustenance. Now, also, I will speak about the key aspects of paving a sustainable way forward, which will include renewable energy transition. We are fairly aware of what renewable energy transition would mean. It would mean shifting rapidly from fossil fuels, which we are already doing. Like it's an old discussion, but still, to clean energy like solar. We still need to implement, we can still implement solar panels in many places, and India is coming up. We are making bigger monuments, bigger statues, so we can light it up by using more of geothermal power, the power of wind we can harness. This transition will not only lower the carbon footprints, but it will also enhance energy independence and security. It will also make us richer. Second, we can do a sustainable agriculture. Now, utilizing the climate smart agriculture practices will ensure good food quality, security, while conserving the natural resources. Techniques such as precision farming, efficient water management, resilient crop varieties will help mitigate the sector's environmental impact. Now, when I speak about resilient crop varieties, a lot of problem in Haryana and Punjab is happening because the farmers over there are not agreeing to grow different crops. Every time they are only growing those crops which will business wise benefit them, which is wheat and all these things. They are not getting into barley and other crops, which is kind of taking away all the nutrients from the soil and definitely harming our mother nature. The second problem is that the waste. When it comes to November, December, everybody in Delhi starts screaming about the air quality. This is bad, that is bad, all. But what I have learned is that the air quality gets worse around that area right now is because the all that smoke and fire which comes for the smoke which comes because of the wind's direction from Punjab, because they burn the parali in open ground. What they're supposed to do, what I've been made to understand, is that they're supposed to dump the parali in the ground, make compost out of it, and use that only for agriculture. Now, this is a sustainable and a green way of going ahead with the agriculture and promoting healthy crops. So these are few examples from day-to-day life where we see that why our laziness, how badly it's affecting our environment. Of course, circular economy principles, moving away from a linear take, make, dispose model to a circular economy emphasizes reuse, repair, and recycling. What that IITian did, Phatawa socks ko silke, he was wearing it. That was reuse, repair, and recycling. This can be done at a much bigger and industrial level with solar panels, air energy, wind energy, everything. Green infrastructure. We must develop green infrastructure. Designing cities and infrastructure with sustainability in mind involves creating green spaces, sustainable building materials, implementing efficient public transport systems. Example I'll give it is 3D printing. A lot of people are saying that 3D printing can be very economical, very cheap, sustainable, and also made out of recycling items. So you can build your things and they can still be green buildings, giving you the feel of the real ones. And I've personally seen it at the parliament when repair work was going on and they put up 3D printed walls. So from a distance, people like me who still wanted a picture, we could go and do it. And it was completely sustainable. And definitely technological innovation, investing and scaling up the climate technologies, carbon such as carbon capture, storage, energy efficient data solutions, advanced battery storage. These are all some of the basic things we can do for a climate smart atmosphere and bring in sustainable means to survive in the coming future. And to sum it all, I would like to say that by embracing all these principles, communities, businesses worldwide, we can still work towards a sustainable, resilient, and green future, a sustainable infrastructure, and also, most importantly, bring the big brother in, which is the West. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you very much for your very detailed and detailed discussion on this topic, uh, covering all the areas.
Thank you,
And
sir.
I please allow me to conclude. And in my concluding speech, I would like to throw light on certain things. I think still we have time, and consider it also as a vote of thanks. This topic, when you are talking about so enthusiastically, you threw light on this. I understand that humanity today stands at what Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change (IPCC) calls, quote, a critical window for action. So, activism is very important. Awareness raising is very important because, as you said, as Mr. Narayan said, as Ms. Datta said, that global temperatures have already risen 1.10 centigrade above pre industrial levels. Glaciers are retreating, you just mentioned. Monsoons have become erratic, and extreme events, heat waves, floods, cyclones, are now part of our seasonal vocabulary. And that's why the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres describes this moment starkly, quote, we are on the highway to climate hell with our foot on the accelerator, unquote. These warnings are not distant abstractions. They shape our agriculture, our cities, our water security, and our health systems. To move towards a sustainable tomorrow, we must become climate smart, not in rhetoric, but in behavior, policy, technology, and education. I would just like to spend some 5 minutes in explaining what does it mean to be climate smart. You have already explained it. I also am not a man of environment, but I have my interest in all these things. The term climate smart first gained visibility with the Food and Agriculture Organization, that is a UN agency, FAO. Its concept, climate smart agriculture, and it was defined as, quote, sustainably increasing productivity, enhancing resilience, and reducing greenhouse gas emissions wherever possible, unquote. Now, over time, climate smart has evolved to encompass energy systems, urban planning, water management, transport, and education. A climate smart future today means number one, mitigation, reducing emissions, as you mentioned, as Mr. Narayan also mentioned, by transforming energy, transport, and industry. Number two, adaptation, preparing our communities and ecosystems for unavoidable climate impacts. Number three, resilience building, which you emphasized, strengthening the ability of societies to recover from disasters. Number four, just transitions, ensuring that vulnerable communities are not left behind. Now, in the Indian context, there are many challenges and opportunities. You have already given examples of Parali in Haryana. India has done some commendable work also, which I would like to bring to the attention of our panelists. The India among the world's most climate exposed regions, World Bank's Climate Change Report 2022 warns that climate change could push 40 million Indians into poverty by 2030. Yet India also offers some of the most inspiring models of climate smart initiatives. This is very encouraging. Number one, the world's largest renewable energy expansion, that is 175 gigawatt achieved, aiming for 500 gigawatt by 2030. This is data from Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. Secondly, rapid growth in solar startups and green entrepreneurship. You can see in Patna how many solar panels are there, and they are encouraged and given subsidy. The third one is climate resilient crop research at ICAR, including double resistant rice and millets. And finally, community led mangrove protection in Sundarban and Odisha, now recognized as a UNEP 2020. The future can be climate smart if development, policy, and people's movements align. That is the very important thing. So, what are the smart pathways for a sustainable tomorrow? The IEA's World Energy Outlook 2023 notes that the solar power is now the cheapest source of electricity in history. Investments in solar, wind, green hydrogen, and decentralized microgrids must become national priorities. Drip individual seeds and rainwater harvesting are very important for agriculture sector. Reviving traditional wisdom from Rajasthan's Kunds to Nagaland's Jhuming. Mr. Narayan was a regular visitor of Nagaland, and he knows it well that Nagaland's Jhuming adaptation strategies offer local resilience. This is how green cities must design. Cities must design for low carbon mobility. Talked about carbon, green corridors, climate sensitive housing, and heat mitigation. According to the UN Habitat Report 2022, cities contribute 70% of global CO2 emissions. Thus, climate smart cities are indispensable. They are, and that's why this topic is so important today. As the Ellen MacArthur Foundation 2019 shows, circular economy models can reduce global emissions by 39%. Waste segregation, recycling industries, renewable materials, and sustainable production are key. Climate literacy is very important. UNESCO argues is an essential as digital literacy in the 21st century. Youth activism, from Greta Thunberg, you have already mentioned, to local ecological movements, is redefining global environmental consciousness. Climate is a famous line from Pope Francis reminds us, quote, the gravest effects of climate change are suffered by the poorest, unquote. Indigenous communities, Adivasis, Professor Narayan is an expert in Janjati, this, and he's also a very important member of human rights, and he's a member of Prime Minister's Advisory Committee. Indigenous communities, Adivasis, Dalits, women farmers, coastal populations, they bear the brunt of climate shocks while contributing least to emissions. So, how to call for action? The call to action is to pave the way for a sustainable tomorrow. We must commit to number one, policy transformation, aligning budgets, laws, and development with ecological limits. Number two, scientific innovation, investing in climate modeling, AI, artificial intelligence for climate forecasting, resilient crops and green technologies, and community empowerment, recognizing indigenous ecological knowledge as a legitimate knowledge system. And then educational reform, making climate studies part of mainstream learning. International solidarity is very important. We have upholding the Paris Agreement, ensuring climate finance, and supporting global South resilience. And that's why and report says, quote, sustainable development is development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs, unquote. A climate smart future is to reimagine the very definition of progress. A sustainable tomorrow is not a technological utopia, it is a moral, scientific, and ecological necessity. Let us remember the Sanskrit phrase I quoted, that Earth is my mother and I am her child. If we act with this consciousness, scientifically informed, ethically grounded, and socially inclusive, we can build a future where development and planet thrive together. At this note, I would like to thank Sri Rakesh Chandra Narayan, Miss Devi Priyadatta, Captain Nikita Sahai, and Professor S. Narayan for organizing this roundtable conference. And hopefully, in December, we are going to have another. And we are also going to celebrate the 25th anniversary of Society for Empowerment. I am not only a member of Society for Empowerment, I was also a student of this because I did a course on uh, Gandhian ecology, and I was very proudly, I would like to say that I was taught by late Arun Gandhi, who was 90 years old, and he taught us online from South Africa, and Mr. Tushar Gandhi. And we had been witness to many types of roundtable conferences, and very important one. And we are very privileged to be here. And I thank all people. And I would like to request Professor S. Narayan, sir, to say a few words before closing it. So,
Thank you very much for bringing such talented people who are working in this field. Now, if the viewers, the last section is the viewers, if any viewers have any question or any suggestion, they are most welcome. Viewers, if you have any questions or any clarification, you can ask. No, no one is here anyway. So we are very much thankful to each participant, each expert of this webinar, and hope in future we will have another program in which we would definitely need the suggestions and expert opinion by these scholars, and they are most welcome to society, or they can send suggestion or they can come and discuss with the suggestions or anything which they want to work. We will be happy to support them or to interact with. So thank you. Thank you very much,
thank you very
Professor.
much. And thank you very much for sparing your